king of the UAAP.
But that was then. This is now.
Wide open. And that will do it. Again. All the way. Yes! What a play by Alex Salama. He's looking to bounce. And this mismatch. Oh! What a Beauty and Henry in the next games. And then of course that last game against Slamma Jamma on the run and again back. Great defense by Marcy. Ateneo three. Chris takes off, shoots the three. Whoa! What a foul this guy. Snaking through traffic, puts up the shot. Oh, they're going to review that. They're going to review that, Roddy. They're going to review that putback. There to collect. It's actually not. Oh, what a big shot by Manahas. 2 shots for UST. 2 on 1 on the other side. And we go up. Top to Rico Meyerhofer, who flushes it down.
Slowly, he cleared space with that step back stroke.
Castro puts it in, and a sensational move.
Rivalries never grow old. They only get better. Game 1. Expected to smash all-time attendance records at the Big Dome, ABS-CBN Sports is proud to bring you Game 1 of the men's finals here in Season 71 of your UAAP.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we all play for. As kids, this is what we all dream about. To be in this setting, to be able to showcase God-given talents in front of a capacity crowd in the Mecca of sports with thousands more watching on national television. Welcome to undoubtedly the biggest basketball event of the year in the country. Welcome to the spectacle that is the UAAP Finals, a stage where boys become men, individuals become teams, and teams become champions. We are ready to rock the foundations of the Araneta Coliseum as this historic venue plays host to Game 1 of the UAAP Finals between storied rivals Ateneo versus LaSalle. And for those who can't watch here in the venue, who can't cram themselves in the Big Dome, thank you for watching us live on Studio 23, Sky Cable 33, ABS-CBN Global, and TFC Now. This is live and it is exclusive, courtesy of ABS-CBN Sports. Boom Gonzalez together with DJ Manota for Game 1 of the finals. And DJ, I would say in any tournament, basketball or any other sport, any league, when you have the #1 team and the #2 team meeting in the finals, it is very appropriate. This one, though, there's a little mustard on the hot dog, so to speak, because it is La Salle Ateneo.
Absolutely. This is something that both alumni have been dreaming about for the last 6 years. You know, whatever you say, both teams, of course, want to win a championship, but they will not deny that it is sweeter to win that championship over their arch rivals.
Definitely. Now, just to give you a little bit of recent history, let's talk about the elimination rounds for these two teams. Ateneo won both. It may not matter today as we go into the finals, but just for the sake of recalling, let's go back to the two meetings, TJ.
Exactly. First of all, remember the first time they met was the first outing for both teams here in season 71. It was in the second game day of the UAAP. It was here at the Big Dome. And as you all remember, it was a win for Ateneo, 79-73. But let's dig into the stats and see exactly what was a factor there. First of all, Chris Chu was the man for Ateneo with 26 points and 7 rebounds to boot. The key stats there in the stat line, Ateneo had 81% conversion rate from the free throw line, La Salle only 45%. But look at that, combined there was an amount of 71 free throws given to both teams. You can just imagine how long and arduous that game was with the amount of fouls and free throws given in that game. Interesting to note though, Raba Al-Husseini in that game, their first encounter, only had 10 points. He was 4 for 13 from the field, 2 for 2 from the line. No idea yet whatsoever that this league would witness the rebirth of Raba Al-Husseini into the MVP contender he is today.
All right, and just a footnote of the 26 points, 17 coming from those free throws for Chris Chu, 17 out of 19. And what about the second game? Well, the second round was very different, especially for this guy.
Well, the second round, as you can see, Raba Al-Husseini was the man in that game. He totally dominated the inside for Ateneo. 18 points, 11 rebounds for Raba. And you know, when you look deeper into the stats and how he scores, you'll be surprised. It's not only the low post game. He gets points off the fast break because he works his butt off, getting from one end of the court to the other, beating his man down several times. He works for the offensive boards. He gets those outside shots from time to time. You cannot ask for more from Raba Al-Husseini this year. Field goal shooting in that game was a big difference. Ateneo 48%, La Salle only 34%. And of course, for La Salle, their heartbreak in that game, JV Casio only 5 points, 2 for 16 from the field.
Exactly, and speaking of La Salle, we'll talk about them when we come back from this short break. Away from game one of the finals between Ateneo and La Salle for the 71st season of the UAAP. If you just joined us, welcome to it. As before we get to that game, let's break it down for both teams. Let's talk about La Salle first. Now, it is imperative for La Salle to get production from 4 of the players that we'll highlight, DJ.
Absolutely. We're talking about the 4 main guys who score for them, not necessarily their 4 out of the 5 starters, which if you've been watching La Salle's games throughout the season, you will know that they are the #1 team in terms of bench scoring, and this is the reason why. JV Casio starts on the floor with James Mangas. Casio averaging 16.6 points a ball game, add to that 3 assists. Mangas on the other end, 10.7 points, 4.5 rebounds. And then you got the super subs. You got Rico Meyerhofer, 12.9 points per game and 10.1 rebounds per game. Double-double almost every time on the floor for Rico Meyerhofer. PJ Barua has been a revelation off the bench for Coach Franz Maren. And in some of their wins, he's come up really big in terms of the scoring and really pouring it on for La Salle. 9.7 points a game for PJ Barua. But the interesting thing here is you don't see centers in the top 4 scoring. And that's something that La Salle has really needed badly when they've gone up against the bigger teams like Ateneo, UE, and even FEU. But nonetheless, these 4 have really fueled the fire for La Salle. They've brought them this far. They've brought them to #2. They've won big games for them when their backs are against the wall and the games are on the line and the season is on the line. These were the guys who have delivered for Coach Franz Maren, and they will be very key in this series.
And on a final note, in DLSU wins, those 4 players average in double figures in all of the DLSU wins. Now we'll break it down from the Ateneo side when we come back here at the Araneta Coliseum. Stay with us, please. Yes, we are back to the live and exclusive coverage of the 71st season of the UAAP, Game 1 of the finals. We talked about LaSalle earlier. TJ, let's talk about the Ateneo squad. Who are the key players coming into the finals?
Well, you know, we've seen them all throughout the season, fueling the 13 wins of Ateneo. And again, I'm sure Coach Rama Black, without a doubt, is going to be expecting these boys to hopefully bring home the bacon finally this year for Ateneo. You're looking at guys like, first of all, the MVP contender, Rabah Al-Husseini, who has come out of the shadows all of a sudden and really exploded with the best basketball we have ever seen from an Ateneo big man, probably since the time of Enrico Villanueva. 17.5 points per ball game, 9.1 rebounds per ball game is what the big man for Ateneo has been giving to the guys from Loyola. Chris Chu, on the other hand, the reliable veteran on his 5th year, wanting to win a championship before he exits and ends his very well-played college career. 13.6 points per ball game. Add to that 3.7 assists a game. Eric Salamat, coming off the bench, has been stellar for Coach Rama Black. He's been providing the steals and the slashing. 9.8 points, 2.3 steals a ball game. And of course, Nonoy Baclao. Yes, he's a big guy on defense, but he does produce significant numbers offensively. 7.5 points per ball game for Baclao. And of course, the blocks. 2.5 blocks a ball game, second in the league, only to Aldrich Ramos from FEU.
And to add to that, in all of the wins of Ateneo, those top 3 players outside of Baclao, their defensive anchor, average in double figures in all of their wins coming into the finals. We'll talk more about this game when we come back. Stay with us, please. Welcome back. We are feeling the electricity here at the Big Dome because the teams have made their way onto the court for Game 1 of the finals of the 71st season of the UAP. Again, if you just joined us, Boom Gonzalez together with DJ Manotok, and we have 2 special guests to join us to break down the games and the teams for all of you. Let's go to the LaSalle side first. We have, of course, Senator Freddie Webb, and from the Ateneo side, we have sports columnist for Business Mirror, Rick Olivares. Let's start off with Senator Freddie Webb. What do you think, Senator, are the imperatives for LaSalle to win this game?
Boom, we all know that the team that controls the tempo of the game usually ends up winning. Now, what does LaSalle have to do to gain this momentum? They've got to do something that they've been doing from the start, and that is to go full court press. It's got to work for them. But remember, there's a danger in full court press. Pagka ikaw ay talagang rumes ng gusto, palaging mayroong isang tatakbo na libre. Kaya siguro, LaSalle will have to calm down fast, and one of the guys that's deadly down court is Rabah Al-Husseini. Talking about Rabah Al-Husseini, early in the ball game, LaSalle will have to stop him from doing his usual, which is staying close to the basket, taking a hook shot. How do you do that? Make sure that the passer is well covered, make it hard for him to pass so that Rabah will have to move outside of his sweet spot. Then, and an end game, if this game goes down the wire, watch out for Chris Chu, because he is the man that they will go to. LaSalle will have to deny him the ball. They've got to double up on him, make sure. But Chris Chu is deadly because he can shoot from the outside, drive, and at the same time pass. Keep in mind that LaSalle had to paddle its way to the finals while Ateneo just sailed on. So what I'm saying is, if this is an end game, the cards are going to be stuck towards LaSalle.
Thank you very much, Senator Freddie Webb. Very significant points for the De La Salle Green Archers, especially about the Rabah point, and of course Chris Chu, and of course when it's the end game poise of La Salle, that's what he's talking about. They've proven it so many times in so many championship series. All right, DJ, let's get the side of the Ateneo Blue Eagles. As we mentioned earlier, sports columnist for Business Mirror, Mr. Rick Olivares, joining us to tell us also the imperatives for the Blue Eagles to finally get this championship. Rick?
Thanks, Boom and TJ. There are 3 things that the Blue Eagles need to do to win this game. First of which is they need to establish their inside game. They arguably have the 1 and 2 combination in the league, the number 1 2 inside combination in the league in Rabah Al-Husseini and Nonoy Baclao. If they're able to put up points on the board and defend that lane, then it'll open up the perimeter for the likes of Jai Reyes and Chris Chu to work their magic. Number 2, they need to stay foul-free. In last year's Final Four, Norman Black's rotation was really, they had problems. So they had to dig deep into their bench. If their veterans are able to stay on the court longer, it will really help the Blue Eagles game. The third point would be to stop their DLSU's perimeter game. As you saw in their second round matchup, they really made life difficult for JV Casio and all the other guards. If they're able to replicate that with any success today, look out for a Blue Eagles victory in Game 1. Boom, TJ, thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rick Orivares. TJ, quick note on the opinions of both.
Well, first of all, Senator Freddie Webb mentioned that they have to stop Rabah Al-Husseini. That is very critical for LaSalle. They do lack the size. Their big men are not as big and as long to really defend against Rabah Al-Husseini. Is he a guy who can be defended one-on-one? I don't think so. That's why imperatively, what Senator Freddie said, they got to harass the passer and give him a hard time passing the ball. More than that, I think we're going to see some double teaming. We're going to see some cat and mouse play, a little bit of a zone defense. I can expect Coach Franz to be creative in the way he'll be defending against Rabah Al-Husseini. In the side of Ateneo, it will be very crucial for them to really establish an inside game. It would be a sweet cherry on top for Coach Norma Black if he can get points even from Nonay Baclao and the other big man to help Rabah Al-Husseini.
And game number 1 of the finals for the 71st season of the UAAP will commence when we come back here on Studio 23. Back here at the Araneta Coliseum for game number 1 of the finals of the UAAP 71st season, the men's basketball tournament. Few minutes, anxious moments from the opening buzzer. So many angles about this matchup, these teams, these schools. And one of the angles, of course, the graduating students. And JV Casio is one of the more popular graduating students for the DLSU side, TJ.
Well, he has won 2 championships in his stint with LaSalle, and he wants to win a 3rd one. Very fitting to exit your stint with your college team as a champion, and this is something that JV wants also to share with his teammates, as I spoke to him a couple of days ago. But interestingly, this could be lingering in the back of his mind, but how he will use it as a motivational factor rather than a detrimental negative factor, it's up to him. Because in the last time he played Ateneo, he was not as effective as Coach Franz wanted him to be. Look at this averages in the scoring of JV Casio in their wins. 18 points a ball game and an awesome 47% from the field. In their losses, only 12 points per game, and he has dipped in his field goal shooting 36% per ball game. And we did mention earlier that he only scored 5 points in their last time they met in the end of the elimination round, and he was totally held down by the defense of Jai Reyes and the other guards of Ateneo. Will we see the same kind of tight defense again at JV Casio? I expect that. Will we see JV Casio climb up again that way? I don't think so. This should be another great game for JV Casio.
The great players rise above defenses like that, and JV just might be able to do that today, as both teams are being talked to by the referees today just before we start. How about Rabah Al-Husseini? We mentioned him already, contender for the MVP and the breakout game in the 3rd game, and from then on, he has never looked back and never looked better too.
Absolutely, never looked better and never looked more confident, Boom. I think that's one thing that we've really noticed about the character and the mindset of Rabah Al-Husseini this year. It's the mental aspect. I spoke to Chris Chu a few days ago before this game, and he said he's always believed and knew that Rabah had the skills to be this good of a player. It was up to him mentally to overcome the mental challenges to become the great player he is right now for Ateneo. And as you saw in that chart, how many games he has played above the level that we expect anybody expected him to play, and he has played really above par from what anybody thought that Rabah could give to Ateneo this year.
Rabah in Arabic means winner, DJ.
Really?
That's an interesting side note right there. We'll take a break, and jump ball will happen when we come back here in the Araneta Coliseum.
And to the millions watching the UAAP on ABS-CBN Sports and the Filipino channel worldwide, we proudly present game number 1 of the best-of-3 series in the greatest rivalry ever. This is your Dream Season 71 UAAP Finals. First, celebrating its sesquicentennial 150th anniversary next year. Here's the number 1 team in the eliminations, the Ateneo de Manila Blue Eagles. At forward, number 13, Ryan Buenavir. Power forward, number 16, Mike Baldos. Center, number 19, Rabah Al-Husseini. Point guard, number 5, the Dynamite, Jai Reyes. coach of the Blue Eagles, Norman Black. And now, starting for the quintet, gunning for back-to-back championships, here's the defending champions, DLSU Green Archers. At forward, number 8, Batir Malavis. Power forward, number 19, James Mangahas. Center, number 15, Ferdinand. At point guard, number 7, Simon Atkins. And at shooting guard, number 6, J.V. Casio. The head coach of the Green Archers, Franz Pumarin.
In the lead.
Officials for game 1 of the finals.
Coach Franz Pumarin looking for his 6th title and 10 finals appearances. Coach Norman Black looking for his very first as we give you the clear men's starting 5. Thank you for watching us on Studio 23 and TFC Now. And here we go. Game number 1 of the finals is up and running. Buenafe, Shai Reyes, Michael Baldos, Raba Al-Husseini, and Chris Chu, the quintet for Ateneo. The rookie, Ryan. I wonder how he was feeling coming into this game.
Well, if it's any indication that in the last 2 times he's met LaSalle, he's been a kid who was not playing like the rookie at all, and he's showing it right now in his first attempt at the basket, barging right through the big men of LaSalle.
Simon tips up the 3, that's short. Ferdinand going over to try to get the recovery. Last year, when I talked to Coach Franz Pumarin, this year, last Wednesday, I believe, and last year when we compared notes about the UE LaSalle series, he knew his advantage was the guard play over UE. This year, he knows he doesn't have the same kind of guards against the guards of Ateneo.
But I think it will be the guards who will have to step up to win this one for them. Whatever you say, no matter how hard, their big men will really try. I don't think they can outplay Ateneo, but they will be a factor as long as they play better than they have been this whole season.
That's why it's very important. Those guards don't feel right that they have the disadvantage coming into this series. 9:03 remaining in the first quarter. And Ateneo on the board, courtesy of the rookie, Ryan Buenafe.
But we already saw a turnover for Ateneo off this full court press, and still, Ateneo not looking like it's having an easy time getting that ball across.
Nerves and jitters, I'm sure, playing a factor with these 2 teams in the opening minutes of this ball game. They go back to Ryan. Ryan looking for received it in a late call, but a call made nevertheless. So Manabis and Mangahas now called with a foul. One of the advantages, though, of LaSalle is their championship experience, and Sharon, you will talk about that. Sharon, go ahead.
Championship experience? Well, not only for the team, but also the fans. You know, they've been very sweet giving the players gifts and messages, and even the gang met up to draft their own strategies. But for the coach's strategies defensively, if Ateneo's outside shooters do pump fakes, do not fall for their trap. And when they drive inside, they may not finish that layup and pass to an open teammate, so deny those dishes. Now all Archer fans can join our prayer led by Gary V. Let's be the David against this giant. Let's flip this game with our Lord. Move.
Sharon, you for the Samson courtside update. Raba looked tight that shot.
Well, he didn't get it in his sweet spot, is what Senator Freddie Webb was telling us as he joined our pregame earlier.
Yep.
We want to give the passer a hard time and make sure Raba receives it as far from the basket as possible.
JV, a couple of fakes, and Chris Chu, Mangahas, top of the circle, still no good for LaSalle, and Raba comes away with his first rebound of the game. He comes in as the 3rd best leading rebounder of the series, or make that of the season. Under 8 minutes. It has been Ryan Buenafe initiating the offense so far, and another foul called on Mangahas. And that will be his 2nd as we throw it back to Cami De Jesus this time for Ateneo.
Team LaSalle may talk about experience, but the Ateneo Blue Eagles believe that their consistent efforts in their defense and their unsurmountable will to win will spell out the difference in today's game. Earlier in the dugout, Coach Norman Black just reminded his players that preparation at this point would not be that important, but it is what the players do on the court that will really matter. Already in their 3rd meeting, a confident team Ateneo is more than ready to try all the depths of the Green Archers to win the championships. Boom and TJ.
Thank you, Kame, for the Samsung courtside update. Big blow to that LaSalle front line, DJ. 2 personal fouls for James Mangajas. And another turnover for Ateneo. For that pressure, Simon looking to JV, to the running Rico Mayhofer. Still no goal for De La Salle. It is still 2-0, 7:30 remaining in the first quarter. Benefit to Baclau, who's in the ballgame. The handoff to Chai. And another turnover for Ateneo.
And they're looking a little tight when they want to go to Raba. Twice he has bobbled the pass, and once he has taken a shot out of his comfort zone. So they really want to get his game established early on, but they're not having an easy time getting the ball to him at the right spot so far.
And Chris Chu telling all of them to settle down. 2 turnovers for Ateneo. 7 minutes and loose change remaining. Atkins will try again. Again, short arms that one. Chris Chu with the recovery.
So far, a good job by Ateneo on the defensive boards, making sure they don't allow any second chance.
Pick and pop by Chris Chu, nothing there. It ends up with Ryan Buenafe inside to Raba. And Raba Al-Husseini is on the board.
And I think that's going to be the easiest 2 points he's going to have all day long, as LaSalle will definitely not allow those wide open layups for Raba tonight.
And again, the ability of Ryan Buenafe to find the open man under duress. And he looks amped. He looks pumped up for the series.
He looks really sharp right now.
Jai Reyes, who did a splendid job against JV Casio in that last game, forcing him to a lot of the 2 of 16 shooting for JV Casio on him again today as we look at this PS Bank assist, PS Bank maaasahan. Ryan Buenafe. In the meantime, LaSalle still has no score, no field goal. JV looking for the first 15-footer off the step back, and a good sign for the 5th-year player who's looking for his third championship.
And that's looking good for him. That's the kind of shot he's going to get against the smaller Jai Reyes. Go inside, give a little bump, a little separation, and since he's taller by, I'd say, 2 inches, he will get that shot over Jai Reyes.
4 team fouls for De La Salle. Coach Franz Pumarin has something to say to the referee. As we look at this on our Smart Instant Replay, sweet-looking stroke by JV Casio. Jack Santiago, the assistant coach of De La Salle, given the warning by the referee. 6-15, 4 team fouls, 2 on James Mangajas. Raba against Ferdinand. Loses possession, the tap going to Bader. And Bader goes cherry-picking on the other side, and we are tied for the very first time.
And we are seeing, Boom, a very tight and probably nervous Raba Al-Husseini. Every time he's touched that ball, he was not sure how he'd attack, how he'd go. We're seeing LaSalle play a soft zone, Boom. It's man-to-man. When Raba gets the ball, Rico Mayhofer is waiting for him under the basket.
And forcing the 3rd turnover as we go into a Samsung timeout with Samsung Imagination Lives. We're back with you here at the Araneta Coliseum. 4 turnovers on Ateneo. That's the 4th one, leading to a Petron fast break, Petron extra unleaded extra mile play. And we are tied at 4 with under 6 minutes remaining. Another turnover, the 5th turnover for the #1 team in the league.
Well, that time around, they wanted to change it up and try to get the ball straight in the middle to Raba.
Oh, JV Casio able to get that rebound. The tip ending up as an Ateneo possession with 5:35 to play.
Let's go back to that last turnover of Ateneo. They changed it up this time, not from the wing to the post, but a high-low play, Nonay Baclau, which they've been very successful at it, having him at the high post and dropping into the middle of the paint to Raba. But this time, Rico Mayhofer reading it very well.
And just as a footnote, Ateneo is #1 in fewest turnovers. Another tight shot by Raba Al-Husseini as he short-armed the attempt on that one. Chris Chu called for his first personal. I was saying 15.6 average by Ateneo coming into the finals, the #1 team and taking care of that ball. And today they already have 5.
That's a big number for LaSalle. That's what they want to do. Go back to their strengths. Defense is their strength. They're not